Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another cosmic thought experiment. Today, we're going to ask a wild question. What if Earth were as big as the Sun? At first, it sounds like pure science fiction, but exploring this idea helps us understand just how fragile and finely tuned our world really is. So, let's imagine Earth suddenly swelled up to the size of our star. Right now, the Earth has a diameter of about 12,700 kilometers, while the Sun's diameter is about 1.39 million kilometers. That's more than 100 times bigger. If Earth expanded to that size, everything we know about gravity, atmosphere, and even life itself would be turned upside down. The very first effect would be gravity. With Earth's mass scaled up to sun-sized proportions, gravity at the surface would be unimaginably stronger. Instead of gently holding us down, it would crush us instantly. Even mountains and buildings wouldn't survive. Everything would collapse under its own weight. And what about the atmosphere? A sun-sized Earth would have enough gravity to hold onto gases far heavier than nitrogen or oxygen. Instead of the breathable air we rely on, the planet's atmosphere would likely turn into a dense, suffocating blanket. Walking on the surface, if such a thing even existed, would be impossible. But there's something even stranger to consider. Earth would probably stop being a planet at all. If Earth really expanded to the size of the Sun, it wouldn't just be a giant planet anymore. With that kind of mass and pressure in its core, Earth would ignite nuclear fusion, the same process that powers stars. In other words, Earth would transform into a star itself. This new Earth star would no longer have blue skies, green forests, or oceans of water. Instead, its surface would be a roiling sphere of plasma, with temperatures soaring into millions of degrees. Life, as we know it, will be instantly erased. But the consequences wouldn't stop there. Our solar system is balanced around one star, the Sun. If Earth suddenly became a star of equal size, the gravitational balance would collapse. Planets would be tugged in different directions, their orbits thrown into chaos. Mercury, Venus, Mars, and the outer giants might be flung out of their paths, colliding or drifting into deep space. For Earth itself, the transformation would mean the end of its identity as a planet. Instead of being a home for life, it would become a blazing sphere of nuclear fire, possibly even merging with or competing against the Sun for dominance in the solar system. Two stars so close together would drastically alter the environment. Intense radiation, powerful solar winds, and chaotic gravitational forces would make the inner solar system unrecognizable. In short, making Earth the size of the Sun doesn't just change Earth, it destroys the entire cosmic order we live in. If Earth suddenly expanded to the size of the Sun and ignited into a star, the solar system would no longer be stable. The Sun and the new Earth star would become a binary star system. In such systems, two stars orbit around a common center of mass, pulling on each other with enormous gravitational force. This would completely change the paths of all the planets. The inner planets, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, would likely be destroyed first. Their orbits would overlap with the intense gravitational tug-of-war between the Sun and Earth star, dragging them into one of the stars or tearing them apart into burning fragments. The asteroid belt would scatter, sending countless rocks crashing into the outer planets or flying off into interstellar space. Jupiter and Saturn, being massive, might hold on to their moons, but their own orbits would become stretched and unstable. Over time, they could be ejected from the solar system, drifting as rogue planets through the galaxy. From far away, Alien astronomers observing our solar system would suddenly see something extraordinary. A single bright yellow star becoming two blazing stars locked in orbit, flashing as their gravity twisted space itself. They would record the birth of a binary system where once there had been only one sun. For Earth, there would be nothing left of oceans, mountains, or atmosphere, only nuclear fire. Yet, in a strange way, Earth would still live on as a star, shining for billions of years, a second sun in the sky of what once was our home system. Now, imagine standing on the moon at the very moment Earth turns into a star. Instead of the familiar blue and white globe, you would suddenly see a blinding sphere of light, almost as bright as the sun itself. The lunar surface, already bathed in sunlight, would now be lit from two sides, casting strange, overlapping shadows. Night would disappear forever, replaced by eternal day. For Mars, the view would be even more dramatic. The red desert would glow under the heat of two suns. Temperatures would rise so quickly that Mars' frozen polar ice caps would melt, flooding the planet with rushing rivers before boiling away into space. Mars, once thought of as a possible refuge for humans, would be lost in the fiery chaos. Further away, on Jupiter or Saturn, the sky would split between two massive points of light, the Sun and the new Earth star. Their moons would experience nights as bright as daytime, and the shifting gravitational pull would twist their orbits, pulling some moons away and smashing others into pieces. The once peaceful ballet of planets and moons would become a cosmic storm. From the perspective of the Milky Way, this new double star system would shine just a little brighter, as though Earth had traded its role as a home for life for a place among the stars. If Earth suddenly became as big as the Sun and turned into a star, the solar system would be thrown into long-term instability. Right now, our planets orbit in a careful balance, held in place by the Sun's gravity. But with a second star suddenly appearing, right where Earth is, the math of those orbits would completely change. Instead of circling one center, the planets would have to adjust to a binary star system. Some, like Venus and Mars, would be caught in a tug-of-war between the Sun and the new Earth star. Their orbits might stretch into chaotic paths, pulling them closer and then flinging them farther away, like a child's toy spinning out of control. Outer planets, such as Jupiter and Saturn, might be less affected at first, since their distance from the Sun gives them some stability. But over millions of years, even they could drift or collide with other planets as the balance continued to shift. The asteroid belt would scatter in every direction, with countless rocks raining down on planets like cosmic bullets. In time, the solar system could either stabilize into two distinct groups of planets, some orbiting the Sun, others orbiting the Earth star, or it might collapse altogether. Planets could be ejected into deep space, becoming rogue worlds wandering the galaxy without a star. Others might spiral into one of the stars, swallowed by the intense gravity. The quiet, predictable solar system we know today would be gone, replaced by a wild, unstable dance of destruction and rebirth. So, what would life be like if Earth were as big as the Sun? The short answer: there would be no life at all. Earth would no longer be a planet, but a blazing ball of plasma, a star competing with the Sun. Our oceans, forests, mountains, and cities would vanish in an instant, replaced by searing radiation and nuclear fusion. Everything that made Earth special, its atmosphere, its water, its protective magnetic field, would be gone. The solar system itself would unravel into chaos. Planets would collide, drift away, or burn up. The delicate balance that allows Earth to host life would be shattered forever. Humanity, along with every living thing we know, would be erased in a flash. It's a sobering thought, but also a powerful reminder. Our planet is small, fragile, and perfectly sized for life. It doesn't need to be as big as the sun. In fact, its modest size is exactly what makes Earth the jewel of the cosmos. So maybe the real question isn't what if Earth were as big as the sun, but rather, how lucky are we that Earth is exactly the size it is?